माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवतेरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter number 11, entitled Lord Krishna's Entrance into Dwarka, text number 39. Tam menire balā mūḍhāḥ straiṇaṁ cānuvrataṁ rahaḥ apramāṇa-vido bhartur īśvaram matayo yathā tam menire balā mūḍhāḥ straiṇaṁ cānuvrataṁ apramāṇa-vido bhartur īśvaram matayo yathā tam menire balā mūḍhāḥ straiṇaṁ cānuvrataṁ apramāṇa-vido bhartur īśvaram matayo yathā. matayo. Word to word meaning. Tam, unto Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa. Menire, took it for granted. Balā, delicate. mūḍhāḥ, because of simplicity. straiṇaṁ, one who is dominated by his wife. Cha, also. anuvratam, follower. rahaḥ, lonely place. apramāṇa-vidaḥ, unaware of the extent of glories. bhartur, of their husband. īśvaram, the supreme controller. matayaḥ, thesis. yathā, as it is. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. The simple and delicate woman truly thought that Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa, their beloved husband, followed them and was dominated by them. They were unaware of the extent of the glories of their husband, as the atheists are unaware of him as a supreme controller. Purport. Even the transcendental wives of Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa did not know completely the unfathomable glories of the Lord. This ignorance is not mundane because there is some action of the internal potency of the Lord in the exchange of feelings between him and his eternal associates. The Lord exchanges relations in 5 ways: as proprietor, master, friend, son, and lover. And in each of these pastimes, he plays fully by the potency of Yoga Maya, the internal potency. He plays exactly like an equal friend with the cowherd boys, or even with the friends like Arjun. He plays exactly like a son in the presence of Yashoda Mata. He plays exactly like a lover in the presence of the cowherd damsels, and he plays exactly like a husband in the presence of the queens of Dwarka. Such devotees of the Lord never think of the Lord as a supreme, but think of him exactly as a common friend, a pet son, or a lover, or a husband, very dear to heart and soul. That is the relation between the Lord and his transcendental devotees who act as his associates in the spiritual sky. There are innumerable Vaikuntha planets when the Lord descends. He also, along with his entourage, to display a complete picture of the transcendental world, where pure love and devotion for the Lord prevail without any mundane tinge of lording it over the creation of the Lord. Such devotees of Lord are all liberated souls, perfect representations of the marginal or internal potency in complete negation of the influence of the external potency. The wives of Lord Krishna were made to forget the immeasurable glories of the Lord by the internal potency, so that there might not be any flaw of exchange, and they took it for granted that the Lord was a hen-pecked husband, always following them in lonely places. In other words, even the personal associates of the Lord do not know him perfectly well. So, what do the thesis writers or the mental speculators know about the transcendental glories of the Lord? The mental speculators present different theses to his becoming the cause of the creation, the ingredients of the creation, or the material and efficient cause of the creation, etc. But all this is but partial knowledge of the Lord. Factually, they are as ignorant as the common man. The Lord can be known by the mercy of the Lord only, and by no other means. But since the dealings of the Lord with his wives are based on pure transcendental love and devotion, the wives are all on the transcendental plane without material contamination. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितां तं शिवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादं सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरम्। Hare Krishna. So welcoming all of you for this morning discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, which is based on this pastimes of the Lord in the internal potency. So did lots of research to figure out if I have some qualifications for this, and I found none. So seeking for your blessings and mercy so that I can repeat the philosophy which has been given to us by our predecessor acharyas, and which will be for all of your pleasure, and also at the same time for my own purification, which is already happening. This thing is not working. So we can see in this Srimad Bhagavatam that Srimad Bhagavatam is about the Lord, the glories of the Lord, the inconceivable mercy of the Lord, the various pastimes of the Lord. And the Bhagavad Gita is what the Lord is himself wanting to share, to speak. So actually, we can see here what is happening is Krishna is that person who bewilders the whole universe. Here we are seeing his bewildering, um, he's bewildering the people, the queens who are most closest to him. Um, they are spending majority of the time, but still they are not able to understand who actually Krishna is. And this is the glory of the Lord. He is someone whom not many people actually can understand. And who can understand, that is depending upon him only. And actually speaking, no one is there who can actually properly tattvataha understand. One can understand to some extent, but because Krishna keeps on increasing at every moment, so no one is there who can actually understand him, because by that time he feels he understands. By that time, Krishna has got some more, qualities, potencies, pastimes, which he cannot. So that's the reason, in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, in the first canto, 9th chapter only, Bhishma Dev says that, it is no one can know who is Krishna. You may say that, okay, Krishna is here as Gudhaschariti Vrishnishu. He is just one of the persons in the Vrishni dynasty, but he is not just like that. He may sit with you, eat with you, he may discuss with you, but he is actually God. Adyo Narayana Puman. So no one can actually understand who is Krishna and what is his plan. So the only thing he suggests the Pandavas to do is, accept that he is Lord and accept his plans, that what is he having to share. So that's the reason, we as sadhakas can also understand that, okay, this is the plan, this is who is Krishna. When Queen Kunti also says, Krishna, your pastimes are so bewildering. I am like kind of your, what do we say, Atya, Buaji, having maternal kind of relationship. But at the same time, I understand that it is bewildering to see that when that person who fear personified is fearful, you are fearful of your mother, Yashodamai. So, if yesterday our Nadia Pran was detailed description of this episode in past time, but we can see that it is extremely difficult to understand the inconceivable nature of the Lord and what he does, why he does one things, and there are so many things coming out of that one thing. That's the reason, the devotees, they confirm that it is extremely difficult to understand this Lord, whom we are so dearly worshipping. So once when Narad met Lord Brahma, he told, you are seeming, you are my father, and you are actually the creator also. So are you God? So as soon as Brahma hears this, he says to Narad Muni that I pay my obeisances to that potency of the Lord, which is so bewildering, which is making even the highest of the philosophers think that except for Krishna, anyone else is God. And I pay obeisances to that Lord of that of that external potency, of that Maya. So he says, Brahma says that actually this particular Maya, which is bewildering everyone, even the greatest of the philosophers are getting bewildered, even the greatest of the people who have understood that this world is perishable, they are getting bewildered. So this particular potency of the Lord, is standing vilajyamana, standing ashamed in front of the Lord because of her service, her duty, and she actually is subordinate to the Lord. That's what he is wanting to share. So we can see that, this particular potency, which makes everyone bewildered in this world, with this conception of Mam aham. Brahma says, Mam aham. That means I, me, mine. So this is that capacity which the external potency of the Lord has. That everyone in this material world is completely bewildered and is completely convinced that they are doing the right things. Right? And when there are people who are enlightened, who are, repeating and pleading, Jeev Jago, please wake up, O sleeping souls. They are the ones who are ridiculed. They are the ones who are thought to be crazy. So this is the potency of the Lord, who has got this capacity to have this bewildering energy, who is subordinate to him, insignificantly subordinate to him. So we can see that how there are various incarnations of the Lord, and each of them, if we just observe at this view angle, then they are actually bewildering from whatever they do. So we can see how there is Matsya. So Matsya, when we see Matsya, what did he do? He came to protect the devotees. Who are his devotees? The Lord, the king, whose name is Satyavata. But how did he come? He came just like a small fish, who was being able to be held in the hands of the king. And within few moments, few minutes, you can say, just increasing in his size. And what he did, what was his glory, that when the Vedas came out of Brahma's mouth, when Brahma was fearful of the water of devastation, so that knowledge, that Vedas was protected by Lord Matsya. And what was he doing? He was peacefully enjoying on those waters of devastation. Now, everyone, the main karigar, whatever you say, the main creator, secondary creator, of course, engineer of this cosmos, he is fearful, and the same waters is the place for enjoyment for this Lord. So it's bewildering if you see. Now if we have some itch, what we will do? We'll apply some, either we will scratch it or we'll apply some balm, some ointment. But when the Lord has got itch, he has to have a whole Mandara mountain above him, and there are all the demigods and demons pulling and pushing, to just satisfy his itch. So if you see from this point of view, it is so, bewildering. And then, all of that he is doing while he is half asleep on the, sagar. And then there is Narasimhadev. Narasimhadev, who is he? Adbhuta Shringam. What kind of potency, what kind of personality is he, that he is so bewildering, to anyone who came, anyone who saw him. Even Lakshmi, if you see his internal potency, got bewildered. Brahma got bewildered, and Lord Shiva got bewildered. Everyone is bewildered by seeing him. So, and because there is never a roop, never a form like that the devotees ever saw before his appearance. There is Vamana. He is known as the greatest bewilderer, greatest cheater. What he did was, a small boy, small kind of not very heighted small boy, and he came and asked for charity. What was the charity? Give me 3 steps of land. And to give that charity was an insult for the king. This king is saying, what charity are you asking? At least ask for some village, ask for some money. I am a good giver, I am known for giving. I'm known for giving nice charity. But then He is saying, no, I am very peaceful. A Brahmana should not be very greedy. So I am very peaceful. You just give me 3 steps of land. When he promised to give 3 steps of land, what did he take? Within 2 steps, he finished his property. He made him a pauper. And then in the third step, he is asking for, what do you have to give to me except for your false ego? Give me that too. And this kind of a chastisement which he did was bewildering to even Brahma. Brahma is saying, my Lord, I have never seen. You are known to be merciful. Patram Pushpam. If someone offers to you, you are peaceful. Now he is giving you everything. He is giving Atman. He is doing Atmanivedan. Still you are not satisfied. What is this pastime of yours? And then we see Varahadev, and all of a sudden there was problems happening. The whole Bhumandala was in the ocean. But then the demigods went to Brahma, and Brahma is wondering, what should we do next? He's just thinking, and boop, all of a sudden there is the small something came out from the nostrils. Bewildering, nostrils. And then he is the Varaha who is going to fight with someone who is having no other rival other than Varaha. No one can equate. That was the potency of even the enemy of the Lord, Hiranyaksha. And then we see Parshuram. What did Parshuram do? 21 generations massacred. Nowadays they're using this word genocide. 21 generations of Kshatriyas completely massacred. And he's Lord, he's glorious for doing that. And there is nothing wrong, because that's what is the thing that we are trying to discuss. That the pastimes of the Lord, if we are not hearing it under proper bona fide authorities, it's bewildering. Completely bewildering. People, when they hear all this from non-bona fide sources, they completely get bewildered and they question the very basics of why does the Lord do all this? We have Rishabdev. He is giving such amazing instructions. He's also Supreme Personality of Godhead. But then the next same chapter, within the later next chapter only, we can see how he is performing a pastime of an Avaduta, who is completely transcendental to whatever is happening in his surroundings. People are insulting him, ridiculing him, yet he is completely transcendental. So this can be bewildering. And also the most bewildering pastimes of Maryada Purushottam, whose everything should be ideal, is he is banishing his own very wife who is pregnant. Your husband is supposed to take care of the wife, that's also dharma. But then Lord Ram is exhibiting a certain type of dharma, and he is experiencing separation, 13,000 years separation from his wife, Mother Sita. He is so many bewildering pastimes. And Balarama, pastimes are all bewildering. He is the trainer of the most important villain of the whole of Mahabharata. He is the Guru. He is having a soft heart for Duryodhan. Right? And then when there is the marriage of Usha and that pastime happens, then also he says, the Vrishnis, don't go, I will manage. And he goes to manage, but when they insult him, then his anger is also, Balaram, powerful. So he takes the whole Hastinapur to put it inside the Ganges. So it's bewildering if you see it from this point. And Buddha, what does Buddha do? He is bewildering the minds of the atheist by preaching the sub-religious principles. Because when the atheists are well versed in Vedas and they become corrupt, then he is the one who bewilders them by his preaching. And then Kalki, he is seeing that the people are there who are doing no Harikatha. The Brahmanas have become heretics. The Kshatriyas are not there. The kings are actually Shudras. They're occupying the post of kings. And then what he does, he sees that there is no Brahmana, so there is no Yajna. Cow protection is not there. There is no Yajna happening. And because of that, he is the supreme chastiser. He is not going to speak anymore. He's not going to discuss. There's no lockout. Just going to chop. That's it. So if you see, these are the, expansions. But the final person, the supreme Krishna, everything is bewildering. Right from the very appearance. What does he do while he's appearing is in itself takes so many acharyas commentaries to actually understand what happened. Why did six sons of Devaki being killed, and then Balaram being shifted, and then Krishna appearing. But later on, after understanding all of this, we understand that actually Krishna was there in Vrindavan, and this Krishna is going and there is merging. So it's really appearance in itself is so bewildering. And then there is activity, which all activity is not bewildering. Small boy, there is one person coming to kill. So Putana, he is sucking milk and sucking life air. And Putana is becoming, such 12 miles long. And then everyone, if you see it from a logical point of view, for let us say 10 minutes or 2 minutes, just, if we think it from a logical point of view, there is a small child, small baby who's not able to even walk, scrolling. And the scrolling baby is killing a mountainous, big, like, demoness. Bewildering. There is straiṇaṁ, Shakatasura, he's just kicking a, shakat, and then everything is falling. And no one there is able to accept that it is Krishna's kick. They're thinking there is something else happening, right? And within, as soon as, a few years old, he is eating dirt, opening mouth, and Mother Yashoda is seeing the whole cosmos and seeing herself within that mouth, and she's getting bewildered. She's thinking maybe this is Lord. And then Krishna again, no, you are supposed to be my mother. Yeah, you are my son. You're not Lord. And then she is trying to bind Krishna, 2 fingers too short. It's so bewildering. Even if you explain this pastime, people ask, okay, theek hai, ek piche le lena chahiye tha. If there is 2 fingers too short, then you take one rassi back, then it is fine. But then even when that was happening, then also it was becoming 2 fingers too short. Now what to do? Because there's Krishna, right? And then there is the trees, big trees, they're falling by this small boy who is, crawling, and nothing happens to him. And he's chastising Kaliya. He's dancing on the hoods of Kaliya, just so slippery. He is sucking the whole forest fire by just a blink of an eye. He is killing Aghasura, by seeing which even Brahma becomes bewildered. We have heard the pastime, so we are like, yes, this we have heard. But Brahma becomes bewildered. How can Krishna kill this Aghasur? And he comes to test, and he becomes completely bewildered after thinking that I will bewilder him. He is trying to play his tricks, but he is being tricked. This is who is Krishna. And then not only Brahma, there is Indra getting bewildered by thinking that he's just a balā, he's just a small child. How can he stop what is happening for ages? So, and not only Indra gets bewildered, when Indra is getting bewildered, then what to speak of this, kind of people. When I was during college, there was one, my parents were staying close to the voice, so I would visit my parents' house. So there my father was reading a book which was named as Krishna, not Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. And it was in 3 volumes. And the author was is a famous person, is the governor of that Jhansi when Prabhupada was kind of wanting to occupy that place. He was, on his name only we have got the road which is just close to our Radha Gopinath Mandir. So this person has written this Krishna book, and he is writing, how did Krishna and all his cowherd people, how did they be inside the Govardhan? So my father was telling me, okay, you say Krishna has lifted the Govardhan hill, but see, this is scientific. For scientific people, how to understand? There was a cave, and Krishna entered the cave, and Krishna made everyone enter the cave. When the rain stopped after 7 days, then he came out of the cave. So this, I told my father that actually this is not scientific, this is atheistic. This is because this person who is writing the book is unable to understand who is Krishna. He's thinking Krishna is an ordinary man like you and me. But actually Krishna is God. He's transcendental. And here Prabhupada says that actually the devotees are also transcendental associates of the Lord. They never think the Lord is supreme, but think of him exactly as a common friend, pet, son, lover, husband, very dear to heart and soul. So we can see when Krishna defeated Kamsa, Krishna killed Kamsa by just a slap. And Kamsa was dead. But just to show that Kamsa is dead to the people, he brought Kamsa down to the arena and dragged him all throughout. And then Sridhama, who is a friend of Krishna, he is wondering, oh, how can Krishna kill? Now Krishna is killing Chanura Mushtika. Is the same Krishna with whom I used to play. So he jumps on the arena and he is fighting, and then he is defeating Krishna. So this is what is the devotees, service to Krishna. That they are getting bewildered by not accepting Krishna to be God. Similarly, we can see that when Krishna is sucking the whole Davagnal, that forest fire, he is. So the cowherd boys, the friends of Krishna, they are seeing, oh, Krishna has sucked. So, but Krishna may be a demigod. He is able to suck fire, should be a demigod. But then they think, if Krishna is demigod, then we are also demigods. So they're concluding that we are also demigods. So actually Lord can be known only by his mercy. So in 5th canto, there is this devotees who are in Jambudvipa, they are praying that Vadanti Vishwa Kavayosma Nashvaraha Pashyanti. So there they are saying that actually those who are vipaschitaham, those who are very, very learned, and those who are kavaya, those who are very, very philosophical, they also completely get bewildered by the Lord. This is his wonderful pastime. And therefore, they are saying that your illusory energy is so wonderful, and I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. So now we have got the tattva, we have got the lila. So if we are in the tattva, we can get bewildered. But when we enter the lila, it's fine. You can understand. So what is happening in Srimad Bhagavatam, in the first verse, it is told, Satyam Param Dhimahi. So when there is tattva, meditate on the tattva. And when there is lila, Pibandi Bhagavatam Rasamalayam. What should the devotees do? To relish the lila. So whole Srimad Bhagavatam is filled with so much of lila, which the acharyas relish. But we are not on the level of the acharyas. So we should we do only tattva understanding of the leelas also? It's like you have a rasgulla, and then we want to understand the rasgulla, so then we cannot just relish the rasgulla by seeing its dimensions, viscosity, temperature, etc. That's analytical understanding. But what the devotees do is, what the best thing you can do with rasgulla is to relish it, is to eat it, right? But now there are two ways of understanding the scriptures. One is analytical way, and one is atheistic way, and no, not aesthetic way. Aesthetic. So if you have a flower, you can analyze it like a botanical scientist. He will analyze it. But a person, he can just take that flower and offer to Krishna and be happy. So the analytical method is not rejected, it's not wrong, but it has to be subordinated. It has to be used in the service of the Lord, in the sense that it has to be subordinated below the aesthetic method. So acharyas, they can relish rasa, but for us, we need to have this combination, that we need to relish it with a proper analysis. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, Lord Kapila says that one of the signs of intelligence is to doubt. Doubt is a sign of intelligence. He says that doubt, and Prabhupada writes that doubt is one of the most important functions of intelligence. Blind acceptance of something does not give evidence of intelligence. Therefore, samshaya, the word samshaya is very important. In order to cultivate intelligence, one should be doubtful in the beginning, but doubting is after understanding the concept. Doubting is not very favorable when the information received from the bona fide proper source. Until then, doubting is needed. But after that, doubting is not favorable. So Bhagavad Gita also, Lord says that doubting is not good. No, now in this world also, in the next world also. It's difficult. But we can see how Arjuna, he doubted. He asked Krishna that you were saying that you gave the knowledge to Vivaswan, to Manu, but I am seeing you like this. You're my friend. How am I supposed to understand this? This is the proper way of achieving, approaching a doubt. So, what is the utility of doubt? Is doubt can show us what is wrong. But what is the futility of doubt? A doubt cannot take us anything beyond that. It cannot show us what is right. So, similarly, there is logic. If we use logic, there is utility of logic, there is futility of logic. We can use the logic for examining the rational spiritual experience, rational for a spiritual experience. And also we can evaluate the contents of the spiritual experience. But the futility of logic is we cannot experience the spiritual thing. So neither can we replace, so any logic cannot replace the spiritual experience. So we have to experience it. So only this practice of spirituality can provide us the experience. Now someone may say, until and unless it is logically proved, I'm not going to experience, I'm not going to practice only. That's the futility of logic. But the utility of logic is, yes, these are certain things which are logically explainable. We understand this, and thus we accept and follow the rest of the process. But if someone says that only after I am completely convinced about the logical explanations, there is nothing, because it is all about Shabda. Logic means you're trying to put things under pratyaksha, which is conceivable to my senses and then understandable by my intelligence. That means my intelligence is more powerful than the pastimes of the Lord. Now this is the problem with logic, right? That the pastimes of the Lord is beyond my capacity to comprehend. And that is the reason logic is just like our map. You may have, let us say, ISKCON Vishalnagar. So you reached ISKCON Vishalnagar, that's the power, that's good. But just reaching Vishalnagar will not help you. ISKCON Vishalnagar. You need to come and take darshan of Gaur Nitai Ji. We have to go down to them, pray to them, and take prasad, take association with Krishna. This is what is the use of the map, not that we just reach. So logic, in one article, Chaitanya Charitamrita Prabhu writes that logic and reasoning should be our minister, not our master. So logic as a master becomes like a tyrant that locks us into meaningless and purposeless existence. But logic as a minister helps us separate the real spirituality from the pseudo spirituality. If we don't apply logic, then we will have pseudo spiritualism also will take place, because there is no logic. But as soon as we put logic, then it makes all sense. So then, now some people have anti-intellectual approach. They will say, only depending on our experience we'll practice spirituality. And some people have hyper-intellectual approach. They will say, only if it is logically proved, I'll accept spirituality. But what should be the proper approach? The balanced approach is that, I will accept if Certain things I'm able to understand with the logics, and certain things I just have to experience. So when we decide, how do we decide what to do? There are various factors, like there is culture. Everyone does it, so I will also do it. Tradition. मेरे घर में बहुत सालों से हो रहा है, so I will also do it. There is logic. It makes sense to me. That's why I will do it. And there is experience, mood only. मुझे अच्छा लगता है. I feel good. That's why I'll do it. But actually, what is the thing because of which we should do things or not do things? That the basis of Guru Sadhu Shastra, right? So when we, certain things, logic can make us understand, like, just by on the first hearing that, okay, designer is a very natural cause for the design. Anyone can understand. But some things we understand only after deliberation, that I am not this body, I am soul. Some things we understand after purification, that Krishna is having pastimes with damsels of Vraja. And some things in this whole lifetime we cannot understand. Example, how did Jiva come to this material world? Better we don't discuss. We will not be able to understand. We don't have the capacity. So that is the reason when we are practicing spirituality, we will face this challenge of doubts. So what to do with these doubts? How to handle the doubts? And this is what we will discuss over our time is remaining. So when we practice spirituality, then we see there is transformation happening in our cells. Just basic. Just we start meeting with devotees. As soon as we do sadhu sangha, there is bhajana kriya, and then there is transformation happening. Internal transformation, external. The thought process changes, the ideals changes, the heroes changes, the villains also change. The capacity to comprehend things, it is having a different paradigm. So we can see that our consciousness is slowly evolving. Yet, at times, there will be certain doubts that may creep in. The doubts can come from the same shastras which are giving us faith, like these pastimes, or the doubts can come from people who have doubts, who have lent it to us, or the doubts can come from external sources. We can go to internet and browse some things and learn some things which is making us doubtful, and it can come in the beginning years and the mediocre years and the later years also, eventually, if we are not careful. So what to do with these doubts? We need to handle it. So what are the 4 ways? I'll just share 4 ways to handle doubts. First thing is, if we are 4 ways the general people try to respond to the doubts. So the first thing is, forget it. Just because I have got a doubt, I will not practice spirituality. Everything of spiritual experience, everything goes to bay, just because my doubt is not cleared. Till the time this doubt is cleared, I'm not going to chant even a single round. This is one of the response of person. The second response is, this person may go and ask anyone. He may discuss that with people. I have got a doubt. What do you think about this? And this person is not having the capacity to clarify that doubt, and he is also getting bewildered. Because I am bewildered, I am bewildering others. And it's like I am having some poison, I am spending that poison with people. And then the third way of responding doubt is going and asking. Very good, very wonderful way, going and asking a bona fide person, authority, and clarifying it. And then understanding that this is the way to behave, this is the way to handle that. And the fourth way, in spite of asking, sometimes our doubts may not get cleared. So for that, what we have to do is, we need to wait for the mercy of the Lord. This is known as keeping it on the car park, or keeping it on the refrigerator. So if I'm having a doubt, I can keep it on the car park, and then wait. I can keep practicing. Just one doubt, I'll not put everything, because transformation is a testimony. I'm getting transformed. I have got transformed. So this is the testimony that this process works. Keeping faith on that, I carry on with the process and wait for the Lord's mercy to clarify the doubt. So thank you very much. I'll just do a quick summary, give a quick summary. We discussed about the Lord is completely very, very inconceivable and we cannot understand him. All the various pastimes and leelas of the Lord are very difficult to understand, bewilders us, and that is we can see from the pastimes, various pastimes we saw, and various authorities we saw, and we also saw that there is logic and there is doubt, there is futility to the doubt also. Then we understood the four ways of dealing with the doubts. First thing is, generally people do this, that just because my one problem is not resolved, it's everything is bogus. Second way is we go and spread the doubts around. These two things we should not do. What we should do is go and ask authority, and if still things are not very clear, wait for the Lord's mercy to descend for us to understand, to get some realizations, to get the doubts clear. So thank you all very much. Please forgive me if I was speaking anything beyond my capacity and realizations. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna.